Okay, I'm doing work right now for my mom, and I'm like, it's Sunday and it's like 12 o'clock, so this is like very late. But it's okay. So when doing Diet Response Chapter 8, Her Glory, we're presented with Bernard's conception like Bernard's understanding of when it comes to black hair. She first goes ahead and she does a Bob's model, and she's referencing in a very mediocre way by starting off with her daughter wanting wanting to use relaxer, and it's in the middle of the story. No, but in the description aspect of this, Bernard uses her daughter's experience of wanting to relax her hair with her own conception of what it means to be a black woman and have her hair relaxed growing up, and how her mom and family was opposed to it. No, not her. Well, yeah, it was her mom and her family. And then she analyzes it through her person. She does like her daughter's, hers, and then her mother's, and then sort of like finishes in the and analyzing the masculine impression in like her household when she was growing up. Um, so yeah, that's sort of what she does. And then I would say interpretation when it comes to the reason why Bernard did this is because um, it gives her more of it explains in a very conversational manner on exactly what black hair is, because when you think about hair, in many ways we understand it as just being something that you do in the morning, but depending on your race or ethnicity, the way in which you care for your hair is different, because your hair is not just something you can throw water on and be okay with. um, I mean, for example, when just like girls in general, people who identify girls that have long hair, you can't just wash it because washing it is not healthy for it. And most hair it isn't. But like if you have shorter hair, it's like more forgiving. So yeah, like that's like a reason why. And so like Bernard tries to relay this in a very conversational manner, so that way it doesn't push off non-black bodies from the conversation, but it also encourages those who still have an idea on having some type of visibility or can relate to the experience, and being able to like put a name to like the reason why certain things were when they were going up possibly. But yeah, and so like when applying it to like individual or like yourself in the evaluation, I would say it was kind of funny. Um, in no way do I have like hair that is like a black woman's hair, or like something like someone who's black in general, because like I don't have curls like that, I don't have the texture, I don't have any of that. Um, but growing up, since I did grow up like in a very whitewashed household, I wanted like Justin Bieber hair. And growing up, I always had a military buzz cut. So whenever I would grow my hair out, it would be so coarse that I could never do something that was like manipulative of it. So I would try to do this stuff, but like my hair would be like a burnt match. So like it would just stick up, and like any product you put in it, it would just eat it up. But then my mom she just sat me down one day and she was like, "You have Chicano hair, like you have Hispanic hair, like you're never going to have like white people hair." She's like, "You're never gonna look like Justin Bieber," and like I didn't want to look like Justin Bieber. It's not like he was hot. I didn't realize I was gay, but I was like, yeah. Um, and so then like it wasn't until like probably 2017, 2018, I understood exactly what it like how black hair is different. And that's because when I was in speech and debate in high school, there was an informative speech that made it to finals and like top six in the country, and it was over black hair. And she went over basically like when it like invasive questions that black women oftentimes are asked when it comes to their hair. Like, can I touch it? Is that really yours? When reality is like, yeah, you have the receipt, it's yours. Like, it's not like it's anyone. Like, yeah, it may have been like some from someone else or artificial. Like, don't ask me. Like, ask a black woman if it's her hair. It's her hair. That's at the end of the day. Um, so like stuff like that, and I learned about it. So when it comes like to actual theories of this, Bernard very much examines like like the intersectionality and like the way that whiteness or blackness plays into how we are basically performing in society itself, and how hair is one of those basic things that oftentimes we forget about because it's just something you're born with. Everyone either has it or doesn't have it, but the way that in which your hair functions is different. So like for example, like in Christianity, it's like women are told not to cut their hair. In like Islam, like cutting like a woman's hair is seen as sacrilegious. So in order to understand exactly what it means for like someone to wear their crown proudly, which is like an afro or something that takes very intensive care or is taken much time to like in order to make sure it's healthy, is oftentimes forgotten. But when you're able to understand that it's not just an active performance, it's a way of identifying and creating a space where people can feel comfortable in their natural body that is not trying to conform to like colonization or to like the white image. Because when you have this like image of like, oh, we have to meet these certain standards, that's where people try to change who they are in order to assimilate. In that process, trying to like gain closer proximity to whiteness in a very problematic way, when that should never have to be like a barometer for measuring exactly what it means to like be to be in positive reflection on society. Yeah, I would say that she does a very bottom up approach to this with her daughters, by like referring like, not just her daughters, her grandmother, and then her mom, like reflecting on like who they are as an individual and how their generation sculpted their reflection on their own on their hair care. So like for example, in the beginning of the chapter, she talks about her grandmother and how her grandmother never cut her hair because her grandfather said like, I didn't marry a bald woman. Or maybe it was her dad. I'm mixing those two up possibly. He was like, I wouldn't have married a bald woman or like a short-haired woman if I wanted to. And so like that's where these like strict these strict like cultural dynamics come from, and it's from this act of trying to like hold on to certain standards which are not necessary. It's just necessary if you want to live a certain way. But bye.